Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power Apps Learning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power Apps Learning. Today's class, we will address the issue of start your trial licensing when you start working on your Power App. Okay. I have noticed that most of you are getting this pop-up stating that start your free 30 days trial. Let's understand what it is exactly and why are you experiencing that issue. If you try to recall, there are two type of licensing model in Power App. One is standard licensing and the other one is premium licensing. When you work with data sources like SharePoint, OneDrive, Excel, and Excel in OneDrive, all these comes under standard or free data sources. When you create apps with these, it will not ask you to establish license with premium. But when you start working on Power Apps with the backend as Dataverse, it will ask you to purchase the premium license because Dataverse is a premium database. Why? Despite all other databases which I have listed just before, Dataverse is fully relational database and it is in-house or ingrown database implemented for Power Platform by Microsoft. So they have nominated or they just put this database as a premium database, and users who want to leverage this database must have premium licensing model. So how a student like me can avoid this licensing model? Because I am not doing anything for money or I'm not running a business. So how could I avoid this? How we could avoid that is there is another environment called community subscription. If you again try to recall, there are various type of environments in Power Platform. They are default, developer subscription, sandbox, production, temporary or the test environment. What is the other one? Dataverse for teams. Last but not least, community subscription. These are the various type of environments which a Power Platform maker can create to continue with their implementation. So far, we have experienced the default environment, sandbox environment, isn't it? We know what is default environment. As and when you spin a tenant, you will get one environment by default, which is called a default environment. The second environment is sandbox environment, which we have created with database in it. However, we have not purchased the premium licensing model to support our subscription. So what you are experiencing this, start your trial environment or trial licensing. Question: what if I do not do this, sir? If you do not migrate your solution from your existing sandbox to community subscription environment, all your environments will be locked because If you do not have the required subscription or required licensing model, Microsoft will not let you proceed any further on your development. So, to avoid that, what are we doing is we are spinning one more environment called community subscription. What is the advantage, sir? When you create a environment with a community subscription, sky is the limit for the developer to do the development with any type of connector. You name it, right? So when you want to complete your project without any trial subscription issues, what you need to do is you have to have an environment called community subscription environment or subscription developer environment. So how could we do that? Go to this URL. What is that URL as? aka.ms slash power apps dev plan. I'm just sharing that URL as part of the chart also so that you could access it. What it will do is it will create a subscription with your account. You see that? Power Apps developer plan, get start free. It will create one more environment. Now, let me add my uh, email account. How many environments I can create in a tenant with this subscription? Only one. If you have already one developer subscription with community subscription, the developer environment with community subscription, you cannot create one more. I am giving my Microsoft account. Go ahead and log in. Accept me. So it allowed me. Now what I need to do, I need to select which part of the globe I am running my environment. I'm selecting my respective country, and if I want to provide anything, I can provide business phone number plus 91 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Get started. Considering this is a recording, I have not provided the genuine number. If you want to provide your genuine number, go ahead and provide your genuine number. I did uncheck this because I do not want to bombard my inbox with all the notifications. Now get started. What it will do is it will create a brand new environment with that subscription, which is community subscription. See what happens. So, are there any limitations with this? Yes. The limitations are when I create a environment with a community subscription, I would not be able to share my app with my colleague or with my team member. It is a dedicated environment for one user to work on. So will it work in the real time world? Unfortunately, in the real time world, which means in the IT world, this is not going to help if you want to start working with multiple developers, or if you want to share the app, or if you want to share add your team members as part of this environment. Unfortunately, it will not work. Is that clear? That is one limitation in the real time world, but in your case you are the only one student who is going to create or work on this, so you should be good once again. So when you look at here, what are the three environments I could see? One is the Microsoft default, which is a default environment, and Bharati Dev is the developer environment which he had created with the template sandbox, and this is the community subscription environment. Now, when you create once you are done with this, what is the next step I should do is export your existing solution. I repeat, export your existing solution from your sandbox environment, which is with the developer environment, and import that solution to this newly created environment. What and why should I do that? When you do this, what happens is your solution will be migrated from that environment to this environment, and you can avoid that start your 30 days trial issue. I expect all of you to switch from your developer environment to this environment. Okay, please do it as early as possible, but my recommendation is before you call it today. Reason: once that 30 days trial period is done, you would not be able to do anything. So, if you cannot do anything, what happens is your solution will be locked and you cannot make any changes and you cannot proceed on your project. So, wake up and do the migration today without fail. Now, correct me, Bharati, if I am wrong. This is your solution. Is that right, Amma? Now, go to the solution, publish all customizations. What happens when I say this? It will publish all your changes if you have any of the change in progress, and then we will migrate the solution and to the new environment. Ensure that you are in the appropriate environment when you are working on a solution, since you have more than one environment on your tenant. Let's give some time. Yes, all the uh, changes are published. Come back here. After you come back, uh, there is something called show dependencies. Again, I selected that solution and I asked that show dependencies. At the solution level, there is no dependency. However, when you come back to table, select the table and say advanced, add required objects. What is this? Why should I do it? When you are creating a solution and table in that, you need to take a lookup with user table. You might need to. At times, what happens is if I am creating a lookup with user table and I am exporting a solution, user table will not be included in your solution, or any other objects which you have created related to that table will not be included. So you will have to select each and every table and say add required objects. What it will help me when I am migrating the solution and importing the solution, I will not see any issues. What if I do not do this? No worries. When you do not do this and try to import the solution, at the time of solution import, it will say that, hey boss, I do not see A, B, C, D objects which are required for the solution to import this environment. Okay, But the best practice is always do include the required objects before you migrate the solution from one environment to another environment. In the real world, in the IT world, any admin or any user will do the same thing. Having said that, now I'm assuming that I have included all my dependencies related to all the artifacts in my solution. What is this word, new word, artifacts? Artifacts are nothing but elements in my solution. So maybe I might need to include the objects for table, or I might need to include the objects for flow. I might need to include the objects for any other resource. But I have validated to best of my knowledge and I'm ready to migrate or move my solution from one environment to another environment. How could I do that is go back to list of solutions, select that solution, export the solution. I repeat, go back to solutions, select the solution you want to move from one environment to another environment, and then export the solution. Microsoft is again asking you, hey buddy, before you move your solution, ensure that you have no issues in your solution while you are moving from one environment to another environment. Also, ensure that you publish all your changes if you have any changes in progress. So first step we already did, but on heaven's sake, we will do one more publish. So when we do publish, what happens one more time? If you have any changes in progress, it will publish and it will move the solution or final changes from one environment to another environment. It might take some time. So let me wait for the solution to complete all the checks. Great. So this is completed all the changes publishing all the changes. The next thing is I don't know while I'm up migrating the solution, what are all the artifacts or the elements or the dependencies I missed while I'm migrating the solution. So Microsoft is giving an opportunity for you to validate is my solution is strong enough or is my solution is bundled with all the required dependencies or not. So you could always do a quick sanity check by clicking on the run. So what that does is it will validate all the issues if there are any which you could fix before you move to the next layer or next environment. So in the real world or in the IT power platform, what and when, what is the need and when administrator or the developer use this step is when we are done with our development. So the next step in the real world is in the IT world is we move the solution to user acceptance testing. User will come and do the testing on that environment. So I cannot play the environment while user is performing the testing. So usually what we do is we migrate the solution from our development environment to user acceptance testing and we'll inform the user that, hey guys, hi team or dear ABC, the new changes have been pushed to UAT or user acceptance testing environment. Please validate and let us know your findings. What happens when I move the solution from development environment to user environment or user acceptance environment? You will see that all user submissions, all user inputs will stay in user acceptance testing. We all know that tables, flows, apps are restricted or accessible at environment only. I cannot access the tables across the environment. I have created a table T1 in environment E1. I cannot access the table T1 in environment E2. So once user submit their inputs, it will store in the table of the respective environment. So if I want to delete any records as part of my testing while I am developing, I am happily be able to do that because it is not the same environment. Okay, unfortunately, it started showing me that, oh buddy, there are 129 issues found on this solution as part of as of this day. Okay, click on the see results, confirm. It will show you all the indexes, all the issues. Now go ahead and just see, is there any severe issue? All are medium issues. Maybe most of the times what happens is we have not followed the indexing on a particular control, or if we have not provided the tooltip for the control, all those minor issues. Now what you could do is, I'm good, I know that what are you talking. Now go ahead and export the solution. Now I have validated my solution. Click on next. Now, this is the crucial environment, crucial step for you to migrate your environment. There are two type of solutions. One is unmanaged solution and the other one is managed solution. So solutions are of two types. One is unmanaged solution and the second one is managed solution. Let's spend 2 minutes quickly on this differences. When it comes to unmanaged solution, this is a solution where developer will get free hand to make the changes on any artifact as part of that solution, which means when a solution is of type unmanaged, they can make changes or they can amend anything as part of the solution if they notice something is required. But on the other hand, if the solution is imported as a managed solution to that environment, the solution is completely locked. Again, two type of solutions. One is unmanaged solution. With unmanaged solution, you can make changes on the artifacts as part of that solution like the way you want. You can update the existing artifact, you can make the changes on the app, you can add new columns on the table, you can add additional actions as part of your flow. But if the solution is imported as a managed solution, unfortunately you could not do anything. The solution is completely locked. Is that it? No, you can add unmanaged layers, blah blah blah. I do not want to conclude or I do not want to dig into that because it is that itself is a big topic. So just remember that there are two type of solutions: unmanaged and managed. If the solution is a managed solution, you cannot make any changes. Since we want to move the solution from our sandbox environment to another environment, and we are sure that we are going to make changes in the new environment, we are not interested to migrate or export our solution as a managed solution. Rather, I'm going to migrate my solution or export my solution as unmanaged solution. Remember, you have to export your solution as unmanaged solution. If you export your solution as managed solution, you cannot make any changes on your new targeted environment. So I clicked on unmanaged solution, and then I have to define what is the version of my solution. Remember, when you are creating or exporting a solution, you have to give the same version as you have today or a higher version number. You cannot give a lower version. Okay, now export the solution. Now Power Platform will bundle all your elements as part of the solution as a package, and it will let you download that package to export that package to new environment. So now my solution got bundled and it is ready for me to download. Click on download. It will download your exported package and it is ready for me to import it onto new environment. So now my bundle is ready for me to export it onto the new environment. Switch back to your community subscription environment. Please ensure that you are on the right environment before you import the solution in that environment. Now I am here. Go to solutions. Now we exported the solution as a package. Now what we need to do? We need to import that solution. Click on import solution. Browse your bundle. I have selected my recently downloaded package and then next. So what it will do, it will import my solution to the targeted environment with all the artifacts. Here it is. Import failed due to missing dependencies. No problem. Go ahead and say, show me what are the dependencies I have missed. Congratulations. In this environment, in this solution, I do not see the app as part of the solution. So what it is telling me is that, hey boss, you have a artifact or element which is part of your canvas app and you did not bundle that while you are exporting the solution. Now what you could do is go back to the base environment where you want to export your solution and go to apps tab on your objects column and select your app and say advanced, add required objects. Say okay. What it will do is it will import the component library. See that? Just a few seconds back the component library is not here. Now I could see the component library is also imported as part of my solution. Now do one more time, export and import it onto new environment. As I said just before, when we are exporting the solution, we can only include the objects to best of our knowledge at that moment. Since the project is a very small functionality, you would be able to remember. But in the real time world, not one team would work on that solution. Many developers will work on the solution and there is a huge possibility that they will miss some of the artifacts to be included as part of the solution before they export the solution, so which is inevitable and a known challenge. So go back to your base environment and again export one more bundle, one more time of your solution. Now that we re-exported the solution, come on to the targeted environment, click on import and browse the solution which is exported recently just now. And then click on next. So it will again validate. Do I have all the artifacts? There you go. Last time it validated and it show me an error stating that sorry, I see some of the artifacts are missing which require as part of the solution. Now it is not the case. Now I click on import. What it will do is it will import all the elements or artifacts related or bundled as part of the solution to the new environment. Okay, now it is importing this environment. Again, I'm telling you, this environment of community subscription is very, very powerful, which will not have any boundaries for you to do it. Only one boundary is that I cannot share my app with my fellow developer. Only the owner of that environment can only do whatever they want to do. Okay. Again, recently they implemented Power Platform. Microsoft had implemented a change on this developer subscription. Is can I create more than one developer subscription with the community subscription developer environment? Yes, you can create. I can create more than one developer environment with community subscription, because they want to give the flexibility to replicate the real time world, that I have development environment, UI and prod, three environments. So you can just ensure that the solution is able to migrate from one environment to another environment. Is this change moved to all the parts of the world? I'm not quite sure because I have not tried that. Okay. Now my solution is successfully imported on my targeted environment, and I can see my solution is very much here. Right now, go to apps. I'm doing a quick sanity check. Is my solution is imported with all the artifacts what I have on my source or the base environment. Now I go here. Cool. I see my app here. Component library. I see my component library also deployed to the appropriate environment. And I come back to the tables, and I could see all my tables. Online banking. I am assuming Bharati might have created the solution prefix as OB. There it is. I have my tables also very much there. And when I come back, come on to the flows, in case my solution has any flows, it will show as part of the flows. Looks like she has not created any flows. No rush. But end of the day, my solution is imported successfully on my new environment. Let's go ahead and quickly try to edit my app. I selected my app, click on edit. Will I be able to edit my app or not? Which is very, very important, because I exported my solution as a unmanaged solution. So I should be able to do changes on my new environment, which is community subscription environment. Now I have opened the Canvas app. So now I have opened this Canvas app on the new environment in edit mode. Just want to ensure that I'm able to do changes on the app. I mean, if I am able to open the app in the new environment in edit mode, that itself shows that I can make changes. But for the for sake of double checking, so I just added one icon. Just remove that, Bharati, which is absolutely for the test case. Okay. Now I just say save, which means my solution is successfully imported on my community subscription or the free developer environment, wherein I have full free hand to implement any connector, any functionality. Okay. I'm able to save the app, and last but not least, I'm even be able to publish my app. Okay. So this environment for Bharati is absolutely done and ready to use. Okay. I request all of you to do this and start leveraging only the community subscription, so you can avoid that start 30 days trial. Okay.